All right, folks, here we are, Roots Week 4, Day 5. Today we're going to be in Psalm 51, but I want to save reading that for the end to talk about a couple things first. This week's been a little bit of a downer. We're talking about the fall. We're talking about sin. That comes with conviction if you're a Christian. You know, part of being a Christian is admitting that you are not perfect. You are a sinner. You sin. You have to confess those sins and ask for forgiveness. As you read the Bible exposes those sins. In a lot of ways, the Bible can cut you, can hurt you in some ways. And we know that that's for the best, like it's for good. But that doesn't take away the fact that as your flaws and imperfections get pointed out, it still hurts. And so I know that a lot of people, a lot of believers struggle with feeling guilty, feeling, just a burden all the time as they try to deal with their sin, and often struggle to do so. You know, if you struggle with some kind of sin in your life, like, it's one thing to know that you have the sin, it's another thing to confess that you have that sin. It's a whole different thing to stop it. You know, like, it's very easy to fall back into old habits again, and then all that guilt comes back, and it can be just an extremely painful process. Well, Psalm 51 is one of those psalms that you could just pray directly. Like, you could just read it and pray it and mean it, and it will help you in your life. For me, this has been like a balm. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had some kind of issue with your skin, like, some kind of staph infection or bad eczema or something like that. I've had a couple of things like that. Gross, I know, but true nonetheless. That hurts. If you've got an open wound in your skin, it stings when you get in the shower. It itches. It's nasty. It's painful. It's not pleasant at all, but you can go to the doctor and they can prescribe a cream or an ointment or a balm or something, and you rub that on it. It just soothes it and it heals it and it makes it feel better. I know that when I've struggled with guilt in my own life, when I'm struggling against sin and trying to overcome that, this psalm has been like some kind of like soothing balm to an aching heart. And so I would encourage you just to pray it directly. Typically I shorten what we read, but today I think I'm just going to actually just read this all the way through. I hope that you'll listen to it and think about it and adopt this into your own prayer life. So this is Psalm 51 from top to bottom. It says, "Be gracious to me, God, according to your faithful love, according to your abundant compassion, blot out my rebellion, completely wash away my guilt, and cleanse me from my sin. For I am conscious of my rebellion, and my sin is always before me. Against you alone have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight. So you are right when you pass sentence, you are blameless when you judge. Indeed, I was guilty when I was born, I was sinful when my mother conceived me. Surely you desire integrity in the inner self, and you teach me wisdom deep within. Purify me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Turn your face away from my sins, and blot out all my guilt. God, create a clean heart for me, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not banish me from your presence, or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore the joy of your salvation to me, and sustain me by giving me a willing spirit. Then I will teach the rebellious your ways, and sinners will return to you. Save me from the guilt of bloodshed, God, God of my salvation, and my tongue will sing of your righteousness. Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. You do not want a sacrifice, or I would give it. You are not pleased with burnt offering. The sacrifice pleasing to God is a broken spirit. You will not despise a broken and humbled heart, God. In your pleasure, cause Zion to prosper. Build the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in righteous sacrifices, whole burnt offerings. Then bulls will be offered on your altar." One thought that encouraged me as I read that today, and I just want to leave this with you guys. It says there in there, "Wash me, and I will be whiter than..." I forgot where I was. I lost my place. It says basically asking God to wash him, to make him clean again. When we trust in Jesus and ask for forgiveness, his righteousness becomes ours. And so I know the reality that I am a sinner. I'm tempted by sin. I fall into temptation. I do sin sometimes. But in God's eyes, because of what Jesus did for me, it is as if I never sinned. I hope that encourages you. If you pray this, if you ask for forgiveness and mean it, then in God's eyes, it is as if you have never sinned.